special challenge edition of the Jake Steak with Jacob Elyachar podcast. I'm your host, Jacob Elyachar, the chief content producer and writer of JakeSteak.com, a pop culture entertainment news website. If you're watching us on YouTube, please thumbs up and please subscribe. If you're listening to us on our audio platforms, please give us a 5-star rating, download this special episode, and more. I am honored and thrilled to make history because I have the very first Era 5 cast member of the challenge. He's a boxer. He's a play-by-play commentator for the UFC Fight Pass, DAZN, and Misfits Boxing. He co-hosts the Do Not Resuscitate podcast with Riley Osborne. And most recently, you saw him on the challenge Vets versus New Frets, and he was on my team, Team Jacob. So please help me welcome Mr. Ben the Bane Davis to the podcast.
Jacob, my guy, thank you so much for having me here. A hell of an introduction. I'm pumped to be on your show.
And I'm so pumped to have you here. Of all the cast members that I've worked with over the years, I gotta say this, you have been so supportive of me, and I'm so grateful for that. And I'm so happy that we're here. I wish we were talking a little bit later this season, to be honest.
Man, me as well. It'd be fun to have continued the journey, but first and foremost, you've been an unreal point of support and the constant positivity in the DMs. Brother, it means a ton. I can't thank you enough for the love that you show me this season.
That means a lot, Ben. And this is a big week too, because as of this recording, I'm having my birthday month.
Let's go! Happy birthday! Happy birthday month!
Thank you so much. 30. I don't look like I'm 37.
30? You're kidding. That's a lie.
No, I'm not.
If you told me that you were 22, I would have believed you, Jacob. That is ridiculous genes you have, brother.
Thank you so much. I owe it all to no hard drugs, no hard liquor, water, exercise, good genes, and of course, Dove Care for Men, which is not a sponsor of the Jake Steak with Jacob Elyachar podcast just yet.
That's why I'm aging poorly. I am hitting Coke every single day and drinking at least half a liter of Jack Daniels, both Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So, I'm putting myself in an early grave, Jacob.
All right, Ben. Before we get started, I want to talk about the nickname, the Bane. When did you get that nickname?
So I wish that there was a more comprehensive backstory to the nickname. I was doing some Twitch streaming in 2021, trying to find myself in the content creation vein, and figured that, Ben Davis just wasn't compelling enough. Ben Davis wasn't something that would grab people's attention if they're scrolling by streams to watch. So I figured, all right, let's have a moniker. Let's have an online brand, an alter ego, if you will. And that's where the Bane was spawned. Not by anything specific. I love Tom Hardy's portrayal in The Dark Knight Rises. I think Bane is one of the coolest villains in the Rogues Gallery for Batman. But I don't know. I think I just like how it sounded. Ben the Bane Davis. And it stuck throughout the combat sports journey. And, I've always heard that you can't give yourself a nickname. But to be fair, Ben the Bane is pretty good. So I think I'm the exception.
It's a great nickname because it honors some of the greatest Batman villains of all time. I've been a Batman fan since 1993.
Damn! Let's get it, baby. Let's get it. An OG fan of the Dark Knight.
I met the late, great Kevin Conroy, the late, great Adam West, and so much more, and we'll talk later. But however, this is all about you. I would love to know, who are your broadcasting heroes?
Man, I will keep it combat sports centric, as that's really where my love of sports can be found, right? Before I discovered mixed martial arts and boxing, I didn't watch much sports. I didn't really listen to the play-by-plays and color commentators of different eras. But, when I got into watching the UFC, John Anik is the principal voice behind all the action that you hear, and he has such a, I would say, transformative approach to the play-by-play role that nothing against Mike Goldberg or, Todd Grisham, other Brendan Fitzgerald, other guys that have sat in that UFC booth, but I just think Anik is electric every second of the broadcast, from the earliest prelim to the main event. Of course, he brings it, and there's just economy in his words that speaks to me, right? Being concise, not wasting moments, not having verbal crutches. Anik's got none of them. But outside of the great John Anik, man, I love Mauro Ranallo. He was such a big pillar in the combat sports play-by-play world. Michael Chiavello, who is fantastic, right? Chiavello's Goodnight Irene, the big kibosh, is just, it's music to the ears. And big shouts to the current UFC's on-air team, Fitzgerald, John Gooden, Dan Hellie. They're all tremendous guys at the peak of their craft, and hopefully one day I can join them.
I have a feeling you're on your way of joining them.
Hey, fingers crossed. Look, I might be shooting myself in the foot half the time with being so vocal and opinionated on social media. That could work against me down the line. Maybe it won't, but I don't know. I can't keep my mouth shut, Jacob. I don't know how to shut up sometimes.
And same with me. I have heroes as well. Some of them are a little controversial. I don't know, Mr. Simon Cowell, Howard Stern, Sir Elton John, Ellen DeGeneres, Wendy Williams, Andy Cohen.
Some of the greats, man. I mean, Wendy Williams was, God, it's a tragedy what's occurred to her. But in her heyday, man, peak Wendy Williams, no better TV.
Absolutely. Oh, by the way, I have a Wendy story to share with you off the air.
Fantastic. I can't wait for it.
All righty, guys. We're here for Ben. So, Ben, before we get into the challenge world, one thing I would love to learn as one journalist from another, how could you describe how you prepare for your play-by-play UFC Fight Pass or Misfits Boxing as you about ready to go into the ring, as you prepare for that?
Absolutely. It's tricky, and I would say simpler than some might think, right? I believe that good play-by-play is built on knowledge of the combatants inside the ring, being able to tell their story as effectively and intuitively as possible, right? You don't want to be able to you want to be able to blend it, right? Blend their background, their bios. You don't want to have this like weird robotic calling the action, and then this person was born in Dearborn, Michigan, and they went to this high school, and their first outing was against, Billy Williams in August of 2016, and then you go back to the action, right? You want it to blend and all kind of, wash over the ears in one big wave. But yeah, the preparation is built upon just interviewing the people that are fighting and doing my own research on what I think is going to make the best broadcast possible, the most engaging one, the most entertaining one. And look, sometimes I'm more prepped than other times, right? This most recent Misfits boxing show, there was a little less ammunition that I had in the scouting reports or my own personal preparation. But I thankfully have gotten to a point where I'm confident enough that if my research isn't on that extensive level as I'd like it to be, I can glide and subsidize it in other ways. And I didn't have that for a while in my broadcasting career, but thankfully at this point, I don't know, we make it work.
All right, and I used to message you because I saw that screenshot where you in the action, you almost got hurt. I was like literally terrified.
No, I mean, listen, it gets wild at some of these Misfits fight weeks. You've got the influencers, the crossover boxers, and huge names in the combat sports world. Till, Rockhold, come on. And tensions get high. And unfortunately, the man with the microphone is usually caught up in the crossfire. But that's where I love being. I don't like... I think it's an important note to not make the action about yourself, right? Because we're here for these athletes, and they are the main driving narrative. But like adding value and sprinkling in, my own kind of creative way is, I think, a addition that helps raise the tide, not one specific boat. So, I don't know. I enjoy it. It's me. I'm so passionate about this, and maybe I get too passionate sometimes. But no, yeah, I do get caught in the crossfire frequently.
Same with me. I get crossfire too because I called out somebody, a challenge legend, who called out one of your rivals, earlier, and I'm still feeling the heat from that. So,
no.
However, I'll give you a hint afterwards. But however, the thing is, we're here. We have a little bit limited time for your first edition, so we got to get to the meat and potatoes. So, how did you get on the challenge radar?
It's crazy. I know that when I was cast and the spoiler community learned of my existence on this season, the first thought in people's minds was, what the fuck? I get that there's an oddity that's being on the New Threats side in season 41. But no, I mean, it really boils down to networking to some extent. I did a show last year with a really talented director and producer that's done great work in Hollywood. And, him and I were debriefing the week after in March of 2024. And we just offhandedly got on the topic of his career in reality TV. I had been poking and asking a couple questions, and he just asked, like, look, okay, well, like, which one would you want to go on, hypothetically? And I don't watch reality TV, which is something I've changed. I've adopted the genre and become a big fan of everything, reality TV centric, but I'd only seen season 24 of The Challenge, right, which is Rivals 2, and I don't know, I in that moment, not panic necessarily, but I was like, I need to supply an answer. So I was like, the challenge seems great. Not even really understanding that the whole premise of the challenge is bringing people from other reality TV shows and plugging them in. I wasn't really aware of that at the time. I was like, I need to, give this guy an answer. And his response was, no way. I worked with, the casting director for many years on one of my shows. Let me just give her a ring and see where she's at with her process. And I was like, cool. And then I heard nothing for months. Like, this was a benign conversation almost that I'd totally forgotten about until mid-July, where I got a DM from the casting director, and she's fantastic. Her and I had a really wonderful introductory call, and she was like, look, send me, a reel and some other information, and we'll see if we can get the ball rolling. And that was like mid-July to mid-December was this whole casting process of going through and doing the medical evals, the physical eval, the psych eval. And this entire time, I'm thinking to myself, there is no way they're going to cast me. Why would they do that? Because I'd been watching season 39, season 40, and learning much more about the show and this realm, and I was just like, man, I'm not the guy that's coming from Love Island with a 6-pack and 6'5", right? Or the person with years of reality TV background. So it became hard for me to believe that they would actually cast me. And then in mid-December, when she was like, oh, by the way, you're on the season 41 officially. Congrats. Like, you fly out in February. I was just like, oh, my God. Oh, fuck. No. What have I got myself into?
All right. And that's why I picked you, because the thing is, you represent all broadcasters. Because a lot of my friends, Mike Lewis, Scott Yeager, our mutual friend Scott Yeager, and Derrick Kosinski, they've all been in, and Paige and Dylan and Drew Angelman, we all wanted, and Pierre Bacall, all of us want to be in that reel. But the problem is with us, so that's why I really admired you for that. So I want to get started with the launch episode with your first challenge was climbing that Chilean mountain to get to the house. So what went through your mind as you were climbing the hill?
God, what went through my mind was I should have maybe brought a pair of shorts instead of my sweatpants. Going for something looser could have given me greater success. But no, it was, an opportunity to prove to everybody, threats and new vets alike, that I can do something physical, right? Because I'm not the 5 out of the 8 male rookies were Marines, Army, this military background, which is crazy. I was like, that's not me. And so I viewed this mountain as the first crack to show everybody, oh, okay, he can also be on that same level. Didn't really work out, though. Came in like 15th, so not as bad as some, but not as good as others.
But still, you beat Bananas and Potassium and Turbo as they locked arms and skipped on the house.
Oh, 100%. Listen, I beat some people. I dusted Rogan, beat Theo. Obviously, I love CT a ton, but he really struggled on the first day. It was nice to see, because I was frustrated with it. I was so frustrated with my performance in pretty much every challenge on this season. But it was nice to be like, all right, it wasn't the best of runs up mountains, but it could have been much worse. So proud of myself in some way, but
Okay, for the first challenge, Mudball Madness, which was crazy, one of the craziest things I've seen watching since Final Reckoning. So you were partnered with Nany, who is making her return after Ryder dies. So could you describe the craziness of looking for not just the red balls, but those elusive golden balls in the mud pits?
Elusive is the perfect word for it, because we didn't know there'd be 2 drops, right? So the first drop comes down, I'm scanning, and I'm like, where the hell are all the gold balls that they mentioned, right? And couldn't find any. So Nany and I were just desperately trying to get down and scoop up as many as we can. And our strategy fell apart instantly. We were going to try and sashay down the side and pick up a ball and sideways our way back up. That absolutely did not work right off the rip. So her and I are trying to improv and scramble, and it's not working. And then I'm seeing other teams, throwing balls to other people's side, and, the teams grabbing and throwing balls backwards. And there's just some bending of the rules that I'm observing and going, I can't do that. That's breaking the rules, right? They just told us 20 minutes ago we couldn't fucking do these things. And now, obviously, with the experience I have and the knowledge I have obtained, I'd be doing the same shit. Oh my God, if I could redo that challenge. Oh yeah, I'd tell Nany, hey, grab that one, toss that over here. Hey, grab that one, boom, take it over here. I'd start lowering the shoulder on some people, right? And we'll put you in the mud a little bit, make your journey up a little bit harder. There's just a level of gamesmanship that I think obviously a rookie and someone in my shoes, no reality TV experience, just didn't have, right? But no, Nany was great. Her and I worked together really well. We communicated effectively. It wasn't going well, right? I think we finished 11th or 12th, so not a spectacular first challenge. But what I love the most about Nany is she never snapped at me, right? There was never a moment where she like let out her anger at me, even if we were both frustrated with how it was going. I think her and I both understood like it's not really the person next to me's fault. It's a collective. We're struggling, and I'm not gonna make an issue when there doesn't have to be one. And now she was sweet. She was the sweetest.
That's glad to hear. I'm glad to hear it because Nany, when she's not around the Vacation Alliance, it feels like she's in the head in the game. But when the Vacation Alliance comes along, I was like,
man. So I hear so much about this Vacation Alliance, and I think that's Tori Deal's Vacation Alliance, correct?
That's correct. Nany's was an affiliate of that because thanks to her ex Casey. So it was Fessy, Aneesa, Tori, Devin, and Nany, and they were all vacationing together. They were all on the same shows together. They all made the final together, and a lot of fans did not like that.
Yeah. Which is fair, right? I think that I think Ashley just put up something on her Instagram story where when you don't cast groups of friends, the seasons become better. And I do agree with that. I think it's unfair to some extent to come in with like these predetermined alliances and notions, and that just kills the excitement. Like, gang, we're here for good TV. We're here for reality TV. Pause your fucking friendships at the door and let's figure this out during the season, and whatever makes sense makes sense. But like coming in as this, huge faction that's already going to be running things. Look, as a viewer, I'd tune the fuck out.
Yeah, I agree too. I agree completely. That's the reason why I did not like the Vacation Alliance, even though I love stuff. Even though I can be like, I loved Cara's Colt and War of the Worlds too, because Cara and Polly were running the show and they took out all those people that I hated. But now we're looking at Olivia and Theo. Oh my God. They are now. I've never seen something like that since Polly and Cara's Colt.
And what's really, and it's so cool to see Olivia's transformation as a challenger, because I think in some prior seasons, right, she's had either bad luck with a golf ball to the nose or, was a villain in some people's regards, right? I think in 39, she had all those issues with Nerys and Horacio, and some people's estimations was betrayal, right? But this season, I think we saw the best version of Olivia possible, which is a woman who's been crushing the offseason in preparation, came in with the game plan, the best strategy we've seen from her, and it's working, up through episode 6. I mean, shit, she's running the show. So, it was a bummer to see her, Theo, Izzy, Adrienne, Rogan, Jake. Like, it was tough to see this alliance form within the first 48 hours of being in the house, because that's kind of stupid. But hats off to her, credit to her, because that's what you want to do.
Absolutely. And another person that's making waves this season is Michaela Bradshaw. And week 4 in the competition, you were partnered with Michaela and won the Amaze Challenge. So what were your thoughts when TJ declared you guys the winner?
I was over the moon. For me, I think this was shown in the confessionals, but maybe not to the extent that it truly was feeling. I was just searching desperately to prove myself, and I needed to make good on the fact that I was cast and show everybody in the house, everybody watching, that like I can provide, I can really stand out in some areas. And I think that Sudoku was not like the biggest point that was going to earn me respect, right? It's not like a headbanger, it's not like something crazy, but it was a testament, right? It was a point where I could go, I came in first. We beat everybody. We worked so fluidly as a team, so effectively as a team, and it was very surreal. I didn't think I would win a daily challenge. I didn't think that I would, get points in 2 of the 5 dailies that I participated in, and so it was nice for me and my confidence to be like, man, you know what? I can fucking win some of these things.
And I would love to see you, Michaela, work together again another season, especially since you guys sent in Mr. 7-time champion, Mr. Jonathan Potassium, and he was gone.
It's crazy. Like, in what world is Johnny Bananas gone? Episode 3, right? Episode 4, right? Like, it's so early in the season to lose him. And honestly, what's crazy is like he sent himself in there. Him and Leka doing that Sudoku puzzle, and 45 minutes in, tearing everything off the board. Johnny, that's a rookie move. You should have known, Johnny, that, hey, I don't love what's going on, but it's getting late in the game. We probably shouldn't set ourselves back to square one at the moment, right? So, I don't know. He was the captain of his own demise, I think, in episode 4.
Sadly, we have to talk about that. I hate to bring this up, but however, we got to talk about it. The challenge moves in waves and ebbs and flows, and unfortunately, you may have won, as you found out, you won one week, but you were sent packing the next. So we got to talk about that crazy, awful challenge about the kicking. So I felt for you every single bit, like 16 tries.
Terrible. I had joked about like playing third string linebacker, and for those in the know, whenever you're like the third string on a team, you're the most god-awful member of it, right? So it was a little bit of a joke that I think some people misinterpreted, but the reality is, like, I still was there for that year of football and should have remembered some of those skills. Not that I was kicking field goals every day as a linebacker, but it was a stunning moment of, what the fuck am I doing wrong? And it's even more frustrating because the first 2 kicks that I got off, they had the distance, they had the height, they were just too far left. And then everything really goes downhill, and I can't get the ball to go more than 3 feet in the air. And granted, the editing has framed it a certain way. For the people that have come at Olivia and were screaming about why didn't she step in sooner? Why did she let him kick it 16 times? She did. Like, I think I kicked it maybe 5 or 6 or 7 times, and nothing was working. She steps in, and then we just start going back and forth, one at a time. And it got to probably, I think, 19 or 20 kicks or something.
Wow.
Honestly, maybe even more. If I'm like, we were there for. It sucks, Jacob. It sucks because we were on pace to maybe finish 3rd or 4th. We had gotten all of our poles over. We'd started planting them and digging them. And most of the teams had only gotten like 2 poles over. So Olivia and I, we were gelling so well at the beginning of this. We were cruising. I'm like, man, this is exactly why I selected her. She's the top female in the house, and now it's being shown in this daily challenge, and it's making me better. And then it very quickly made us both worse because it just took forever to fill that pit in and get it to the point where they would allow us to go put the cross guard and get the kick. And yeah, I ran out of steam really quickly. I wish that my cardio held up better to get some more quality kicks in, but that day just beat the fucking shit out of me. I can't lie.
And it got worse as the episode went on. So what went through your mind when you saw that Olivia wanted to do that move? And you had to be the sacrifice.
What's funny is I didn't know the truth of her attitude in that moment until 2 weeks ago when the episode aired. And I saw the tape, right? The story, the version of the story that I was told was like, oh, I was trying to, this is from Olivia the morning after. I'm trying to make Ashley feel better, and the house is using something I said against me, and they're taking it a different way. I didn't mean it as throw you in. I just meant it as this general, ambiguous, I wouldn't mind being a hangout. It's not the worst thing ever, right? And now they're trying to frame it and make it seem like I want you to go in. And I'm sitting here listening to this, and I'm trying to give her the benefit of the doubt because, again, one of the big reasons why I selected her was like, okay, she's the head of the house at the moment. Johnny's gone. There's nothing contesting her at the moment. And her self-preservation instincts, I thought, would kick into overdrive because she would have assumed people are going to maybe try and take shots. People are going to try, now that I'm the only queen left on the table, get me off the board. And so I assumed that self-preservation would include me, and that shield would envelop me for at least that week. Because, again, her and I weren't working together, and I don't believe she owes me anything, right? It's not like we were friends. It's not like we were allies. But I just thought, like, hey, what happens to me this week happens to you. Therefore, it's in your best interest to insulate me from whatever hailstorm is going to be coming. And I didn't realize that she was going to use that against me and be like, look, hey, whatever hurts you, actually only hurts you because I don't give a shit and I have enough confidence in my social capital to not go in, even if I was a hang no, right? That was her attitude. That's the truth of it. And so a rookie move on my part, feeling safe, feeling complacent, that her self-preservation would include me in her consideration, exactly the opposite. And it did pan out for her, but she had to really earn that. I mean, it backfired in the sense that she went down to the sand. So I don't know if she could redo that moment. I think she would have done it a little bit differently, but smart. It was smart from her.
I agree completely. And what made it worse was what you were taken out by one of the people I hate the most in this challenge universe.
Oh,
Chef.
no. What
I
do you
really
have
don't
against
like it because he
Derrick?
went after the only Jewish guy on a challenge, Asaf. And he said, because Asaf works with RuPaul's Drag Race, he said he could have acted like that on a 39. And I was like, how dare you? And I would have given him the birdie in the face. I would. But
Damn.
yeah, that's how angry he makes me.
I don't know the context of that situation. I can only speak for my relationship with him and the direct interactions I've had, which, you know, even though he did send me home, I will say he's always been very kind to me, and I don't hold anything too much against him for lighting me the fuck up in a hall brawl. But maybe I'll have to look into the context of that.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. But the thing is, this is going to get interesting when Challenge Mania, because the thing is, I would have loved to go to Arizona, but however, the thing is, I would have flown, do some stuff of my Devo's playbook and do the fingers. But however, the thing is, Mark would be furious with me.
They might be furious, but I'll tell you what, Jacob, if you went and did that, it would make my day because it'd be hilarious, and I would enjoy the spectacle of you flipping Derrick off.
And Olivia, too. I think Olivia might be, and Theo, because I don't like what he did with Paulie.
The hall brawl where he,
yes.
That was a brutal one. That was a pretty brutal one from Theo.
But the problem is we cannot enrage a pregnant lady.
No, and that's, I mean, now that you bring that up, isn't it so impressive, even more so, that she's doing what she's doing this season?
Absolutely.
Building another person.
The last time we've seen that was Melissa in Total Madness.
Yeah, and that's a crazy season to be pregnant for. That's one of the bunker, right?
Yeah.
That's fucking insane. She's pregnant for that season.
Alrighty, so here's the thing. I do give Olivia some credit, and I did not post an angry tweet or angry response to her. But her and Jonathan Potassium gave you your flowers. And Olivia said on one of your tweets that, I want to see that attitude that you did on that video, because it broke my heart when I watched that. And I sent you a video to everyone, to let you know, guys, everyone know, I sent Ben a video, a very private message on Instagram. Because the thing is, when I saw the tweet, I said, I have bad news. And I said, I had Jack Nicholson waving the arms at games, like, no. That broke my heart, because and seeing you getting eliminated broke my heart, because the thing is, you're a newbie. You represent a lot of podcasters' dreams and desires to go into the game, and you held your own. You took out one of the most powerful alumni of all time, names of the show, and took out. But like, the thing is, you made yourself, and you made a great impression on everybody, and a lot of people really want you back.
I really appreciate that. I posted that video, to just, give a bit of a peek behind the curtain into how it felt to get eliminated and go through a really frustrating chapter that now I've got to relive so many months later. And, the big theme for me, again, this season was like, I really wanted to show up and perform and do well. And I don't know, there's this element of like making everybody proud, to your point. Like, I'm the average guy in the Olympics. How cool would it be to get a gold medal, right? And the fact that I couldn't do that, and especially came up so short in an elimination and an event that I feel was best for me almost. Like, with my combat sports background, I should have done a billion different things in that hall brawl. If I could redo it, I would have tripped him. I would have thrown the football on the fucking ground, wrapped his neck up in a guillotine, choked him unconscious, and then continued to run past him. Because look, here's the reality. They wouldn't be able to stop me. The time it would take for them to get into that Oppenheimer and remove me, I'm sorry. I've already got the football in the basket, and Derrick is, DOA'd. So, no, there's just so many things I wish I could do differently. But I love how this community's embraced me. And, there is obviously some extreme thoughts and opinions on all sides, which everyone is totally entitled to. I don't condone, any harassment or toxicity. That's a different story. But look, if people like me, dislike me, I embrace all of it because I want everyone to feel how they want to feel. And all I can do is project me, the most authentic version of me. And I don't know. I think that it's been a breath of fresh air because when combat sports, with MMA and boxing, that world is so homophobic and so bigoted and problematic in so many degrees that operate against my personal beliefs that, man, there's weeks where I just am on Twitter trying to do my job, trying to go to an event and call shit. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating to be around people like that. And with the challenge community, I feel the exact opposite.
And believe me, this is the same when I'm around with the Jewish community, and there's a lot of people that throw a lot of anti-Semitism at me.
Yeah.
So it's, and I'm proud to say this, you stand your ground. You are amazing. And you're one of the people, my colleagues I look to when it comes like, okay, can I do this? And what's the best clapback to haters? Or if I don't have one, I can always block.
The block button's a true gift from the gods. I'll tell you that. I have no qualms about hitting the BB on some people because, look, I think that to some extent, if a person is using a burner or something to just dog you and harass every single post and be cruel, it's not worth my vision. Most hate, I don't, because, I've been in this game for a little bit with combat sports. You grow thicker skin. You get used to it. You can allow it to fall off the shoulders a bit. But, there's days where it's like, look, I'm fucking sick of getting this bullshit, So, block, gone, not my problem. Never have to deal with it. And for people that want to, reframe getting blocked as some win, some victory, I beat that guy so bad that he had to block me. That's pathetic, basement-dwelling, childlike behavior. So for people that want to see getting blocked as a win, man, go rethink some shit. Go look in the fucking mirror.
I agree completely, especially some challengers. I eat Jimmy. But I'll tell you about that story later. But however,
Sure.
The thing is, I love that episode with Leka, and I was on Paulie's train. As you know, Paulie Calafieri has been calling out the vets for not doing that. And I think I said it, and a lot of people were shocked, including some of my friends like Paige, most likely, and they were shocked. And Beth even said that as well, saying, "Wait a minute, Jacob, what are you doing?" But the thing is, when I saw that with CT and how they threw Leka, another one of my picks, I was literally angry, saying, "Oh my God, CT, you need to go." Paulie was right. You need to go on All-Star 6.
It's so tricky because I don't think there is much credence to the crowd that believes CT threw that challenge. I do think he tried his best, but he's not in the physical place to do it. He's 45. His knees are in rough shape, and he's got trauma and PTSD from season 40. That's valid. I'm not going to minimize or discount it if CT is looking up a 30-foot ladder that's swinging side to side, as Leka told us, and go, man, I've got a family back home, and I got hospitalized last season doing some shit exactly like this. Now, it's so unfortunate that came at the expense of Leka. I wish that only affected CT and only impacted his game because Leka didn't deserve to get sandbagged in that fashion. But look, CT's thrown challenges before, and when he does, it's a coordinated effort. There's multiple people in on it, and he does it in a very obvious way, and he'll own up to it in the confessional, right? So for the people that are like, oh, CT threw it, I'm like, if he threw it, he would have done it a different way probably, and he would have been more accountable towards it. So I don't know. You got to give the GOAT some love, but I agree. I think that maybe flagship runs should only be reserved if he comes in good shape and he doesn't show up to the house thinking it's a fat camp. Bro, do your fat camp before the season starts and then come in ready to rumble because, yeah, it's a spot that could have gone to another vet, and it's a new threat that didn't have to get sandbagged down and sent home.
Oh my God. Speaking of threats from vets, I would love to see, there's a couple people, I would love to see you go up against my friend Jay Starrett. Paulie, another one, John Brennan from Era 1, Brad Fiorenza, the great Jordan Wisely, the great Frank Sweeney Fox.
Man, all those names, Jacob, all those names are amazing competitors, people that it'd be an honor and a pleasure to play with. Now, I can't guarantee which sides I would be on out of that grouping of people. But, getting to see firsthand in person Jordan work and Jordan be the beast that he is would just be awesome to see. And Brad's a tank. Like, Brad is it's almost a Turbo-esque level of monster, right? That's in the house. So any of them would be tons of fun to play with.
Okay, so you're going to experience it first. As of this recording, you are heading to Challenge Mania Phoenix, Arizona, where you get to see Chavez, Olivia, and Theo. And also you get to see Mark and Scott and Aneesa and Tori and Jody. So what are you looking forward to the most for your first Challenge Mania?
Man, I'm so excited to just be able to not call out Derrick, Olivia, and that whole crew for how it went down, because, again, I agree with the moves that they made, but interacting with them in that environment, I think, is going to be really, really spectacular. And seeing, the challenge fans that are here in Phoenix and being able to talk and communicate with them, and honestly just be appreciative for how they've tuned into the season and how they've been engaged online. And, y'all are the lifeblood of this show, whether some cast members want to agree with that or not. I think that if there's no social media buzz about something, if there's no pop culture impact, then, it's a bit negative, and you guys keep the sales alive. So being able to just express that, I think, to the people here in Phoenix is what I'm most looking forward to.
And I wish I was there, but as a veteran of 5 Challenge Mania events, you're in good hands with Scott and Mark. And please tell them I said hello.
You'll be there in spirit.
I will be there in spirit too. So we got to start wrapping up our conversation. Our first conversation, I hope, of many. So
yes.
Where can my audience connect with you on social media? That's number 1. Number 2, where can they find a Do Not Russicate Your podcast with Riley, which, by the way, you guys are fire. This is, as one podcaster to another, I think you do a really good job bringing new vets' perspective into the whole thing.
Yeah, I try. Riley and I have been wanting to work on something creatively for so long. He's my color commentator over at Misfits Boxing. He's been a partner in crime of mine since 2023, and when this opportunity came up, I expressed to him many times, like, look, I think now's the time. I think this is the perfect way for us to create a sandbox that we can play in creatively and find content that's engaging for us and fans. And it's just, it's really cool that people have latched onto it and supported it in the fashion that they have. So for sure, go hit up the DNR, the Do Not Resuscitate podcast. I think it's at the DNR Pod on YouTube. And for all of the social medias that I have, at Ben the Bane Davis. I'm most active on Twitter, and I am chronically online. So I will always be a couple keyboard taps away.
Alrighty, guys. If you missed an episode of the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar podcast, visit our channels on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Spreaker. Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar, JACOB, Now, are you on social media? I'm on social media too. Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Twitter, and YouTube. Jacob Elyachar, JACOB. Now, if you want to see all my challenge interviews, including with my latest with Mark and Scott, not to mention John and Beth and Cyrus, and Jay and Joss and Jenny West and Polly, well, head to the blog that started it all, jakesashake.com. And I am very thrilled to say that Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar is a 2025 American Business Award winner. I want to say thank you so much to all of the judges that found the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar worthy of a Silver Stevie in the Best Interview Talk Show for the very first inaugural podcasting category. Ben, it is such an honor to have you here. You are amazing. You have a welcome invitation, open invitation at any time. And I really appreciate you taking time out of your schedule.
Jacob, thank you so much. Honor and a pleasure is all mine. And I will absolutely be back sometime to cover more of season 41 with you.
Awesome. And guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, have a great one, everybody. Goodbye.